Why is it not playing? Well, it's a Monday.
Good afternoon.
What's that saying? If it can go wrong, it will go wrong, right?
Murphy's Law. It's a Murphy's Law kind of day.
Well, I hope someone else pops up in the chat and let us know how they're doing today.
If not, I'm happy just to have a conversation with you, gentlemen, and of course anybody who happens to pop in after the fact. Hi there and welcome. We got a ton of fun stuff to talk about.
Absolutely. And how was your day today there, Mr. Stanley Orchard? Talk to us about what you can talk to us about.
Yeah, well, that's funny you say that. We had I had a couple of meetings today. Interesting stuff coming down the pipeline with YouTube. From what I've heard, early spring. Expect to see some interesting things we can talk about, not on camera.
Oh, wow.
I do have an NDA on that. But we got some fun and exciting things coming up in the old YouTube stuff. I am beat up. I am tired after today. So I'm happy to be hanging out here with you guys and done with all of that drama.
What about you, Grant? How's your Monday been?
It was actually pretty laid back. Cheers, Janet, in the chat. I'm drinking Coke tonight. I took call this week.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
A week early, so that I wouldn't be on call next week since it's the first full week of duck season.
Yeah.
But I'll be on call for Thanksgiving and the holiday weekend.
That kind of sucks.
Be all good. Got some deer hunting in last weekend.
Yeah.
This past week. So there's Mr. Danny Baker. Good to see you.
Danny Baker.
Hey, Danny.
You got to go to my YouTube channel and either go to About and find my email address, or go to any of my videos with the information below. You have no contact information on your channel, Danny. You don't have an email. You don't have any social media. I want to invite you to be up here with us today. I did comment on one of your videos saying, hey, here's my email address. Email me. You didn't, so I'm assuming since I put an email address in the comment, it might have put it in that folder where you don't see it unless you go look for it, whatever they call it.
I apologize. I'd have sent you the link here, Danny. I'm using my phone, and I can't switch off of this to send links.
There's Mark.
I don't have a way of doing it on here.
Link for what?
Grant, how could we do that?
Mark J, what's you've got a way to send Danny a link?
What kind of link are you trying to send him?
You were talking about sending. Yeah.
Well, he's got to give us an email address or something to send.
Yeah, I need the email address or something to send that over.
Yeah. Mark, good to see you. Glad you joined us. Thanks for popping in. It's going to be a good Thanksgiving week, I think.
Mr. Larson, as I recall, did you have a live stream last week?
I think he did, like after us.
I think he did, and I meant to be there, and I totally missed it, and I just didn't think about it until just now. I wanted to apologize for that.
Hey,
I had you very high on my list of things to do. I'm sorry.
Robert, hooked up in Backlash.
Even, sir.
YouTube, brother, if you want to be in a future live stream, be up here with us as a guest. Just hit me up. You know where to hit me up. Just hit me up.
Danny, join the club, man. This is the entire purpose of this is so that we can vent about that, because it's been one of them days.
All right, Danny. Either way, do me a favor when this is all over, right? Just jump on to my channel and grab my, link is down below. Grab my email address from my About, or I have it under every one of my videos, and send me an email. And that way I'll have your email address so we can communicate. But yeah, I would suggest that anybody who's got a YouTube channel, right, big or small, you need some type of contact information on your channel for folks that really need to reach out to you. Maybe it's a good thing you want somebody to contact you about. If you put it in that About section on your channel, on your page, it hides it. It says click here. and you got to click on it to see the actual email address. That's to keep the bots and all that from automatically seeing your email address. But any, so put your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of those, somebody can easily contact you. But YouTube, you cannot contact somebody through YouTube unless they leave some contact information somewhere. And so,
and funny story on that. Everybody thinks this is the mentality. This is I thought this too. Everybody thinks this. This is not uncommon. You're not doing anything strange by doing this. But everybody thinks when I get bigger, I'll get the PO box, I'll get the email address, whatever. I'll do it then. I'll do it a little bit later on. But FYI, I've had an email address in the description of every single video since day one. And probably the third email that I ever got on a YouTube thing was somebody sending me a 6-pack of beer. Like that's what you're missing out on. You need to have an email address associated with your account.
Yeah, and that's how you want to do it, Danny. Just just make, like, I have my normal email address, and then I've got the A&J Outdoors on Gmail. That's the one that I put on here and I use for YouTube communication purposes. Hooked up in Backlash, it is you, because everybody screen black or everybody see everything good?
Looking good on mine. I got a test monitor and we're looking good on there. I think that's you. That might be a refresh situation.
Yeah, might need a refresh, brother.
Mr. Larson, I apologize for missing you. I thought you had one. You were on last Tuesday. That's the one that I missed. Okay, I think you'd said something about going on yesterday. Sundays, weekends, I'm really like pretty strong on taking that time off. I don't do any. I drop the phone and everything. But Tuesday, I had intended on checking you out on Tuesday. I missed that, and I apologize.
Yeah, I made it in there. They had some good conversation.
Cool. I'm gonna try to make the next one.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that.
Very cool. All right, so we talked about YouTube and how we should have some contact info available there. I know you both got to talk about your weekend. I haven't, so I guess I'll talk.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
So I went deep sea fishing off the coast of no, that's a lie.
No, you didn't. Get out of here. There's no way you would have done that and not, like, you'd have blown up Messenger. Our phones would have been lit up with you talking about every stupid fish you'd have caught.
Absolutely, I would have. No, so I'm still recovering with the back, so I didn't go out and do anything spectacular, but I did finish the lighting upgrade in the boat video. I got the live well light, the courtesy lights. It's all done. It's all uploaded. I got chapters. It's just sitting there. And the reason I didn't release it today is because I'm doing this live stream tonight. That would mess up so tomorrow, probably around 8 a.m., that sucker's going to go hot. So watch for the video. I'll post a link. I'll announce it on Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. So it's coming out tomorrow. I'm happy with it, especially happy with the results. I'm looking forward to using it now in the dark.
Yeah, I'm intrigued on that one myself. Those lights look awesome, by the way. I saw the pictures. The video is going to be amazing. Note to everybody in the chat and everything down there, you guys all do YouTube channels. So just a heads up. We got Black Friday coming up and Cyber Monday, and I think they're all kind of an amalgamation of the same thing. As a YouTuber, if you do affiliate links, you need to drop a video tomorrow. Get that video out with those affiliate links and take advantage. I've had my biggest sales. Like, I will blow out the sales of the entire rest of the year in a video that I post this week for Black Friday. Like, if I get that out, I'll blow it all out of the water. You need to take advantage. Nice.
Yeah, Danny, now that they won't let you click on somebody's name in the chat and be able to go to their page or their channel, I typically, if I see somebody new, I just write their name down on a pad of paper, and then when we're done, I'll go type it in the search and go find them and check out their channel. That's about the best way to do it now.
That's so rough when people have weird names.
Yeah.
If you have it like for example, Mark J. Larson. If you had it like Mark J. Larson, that would be a totally different search designation for YouTube. So, like, if you had it Mark J. Larson Outdoors and you had the D in doors capitalized, totally different. So it's you have to search the specific. It's a pain.
Sounds
It's
like
dumb. YouTube is dumb for doing this.
Excuse me. Crazy. So yeah, my weekend was mainly watch football and then, as I could, do the boat lighting thing. Other than that, and this week I really just some little cleanup on the boat. Got some other things to do, and Thanksgiving, getting ready for cooking that turkey bird. Hey, I don't know about all the rest of you, but turkeys were not easy to. Well, okay. So when we went to the store, they had several turkeys. They had a lot of turkeys, but they were all 20 pounds plus turkeys. So I'm cooking a turkey for me and my wife and my daughter. She comes over for Thanksgiving. So usually we do about a 12 to 14 pound bird. So now I got a 20-pound turkey.
I'm not hearing the problem with this.
Well, yeah, it's extra. I know, but it takes a little longer to cook. And I've always grilled my turkeys since late 80s, right? But it's always been on the web or indirect, and I got that down to a science. Make a delicious turkey. They always come out juicier than they do out of the oven if you grill them.
Yeah, I agree.
But this year, first of all, a 20-pound turkey is a little bit big for the Weber. This year, I'm doing it on the Traeger. So I'm changing things up. And so you're either going to hear on Friday, if you follow me on social media, you'll see how awesome my turkey turned out, or you'll hear how I ruined Thanksgiving.
I really would love to see a video of this, regardless of what direction it goes. I would really like to see a video on that. This is a behind-the-scenes vlog.
I do have a video on grilling a turkey on a Weber. That's probably a couple years old.
Yeah,
back there.
I remember that one. Yeah. On that note, Grant, and I'd like to talk more about this in a moment. I know you've got some hunting coming up. You got duck coming up next week. And that's one of those I would love to pick your brain about. Duck is, in my opinion, like a notoriously hard thing to cook. I'm curious how you do it.
And there's all different kinds of duck that taste different too, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, about the only way we like it is soaked in some Italian dressing overnight, wrapped in bacon, and cooked on the grill.
That doesn't sound bad at all.
Yeah. I've never done it like that, but I'm that'll be my next recipe. Italian dressing, bacon, and the grill.
Yeah, we've tried frying it, breading it like pork chops or like chicken, and just didn't turn out very well.
Have to remember that one. Danny said grind up some turkey for later. Yeah, do that. Video posted tomorrow that I think you will really like. What is it, Mark? Don't leave us in suspense. You don't have.
I'm guessing it's trapping. His last video, we caught his first coyote. Real pretty dog.
Oh, okay. Well, let us know what it's about. Don't have to get too many details if you don't want.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he was running the trap line.
Cool.
Caught a bunch of
raccoons. You think the hides? Does he go for hides on that, or?
Oh yeah. Mark's got
like coyotes. Mark's the hides on.
Mark's trophy wall when he goes live or joins panel, his hides hanging up behind him. Pretty sweet.
Nice. That's what I've been missing out on, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were all from last year. He's got couple foxes, raccoons, and coyotes. Pretty.
Mark, do you tan the hides yourself, or do you have somebody do that?
I'm pretty sure he did it himself.
I've tried tanning hides, and I have a basic idea of how to do it, like the brain tanning with an egg. Not even the brain, but doing it with like an egg yolk. And it did not turn out well. I had aspirations of making a pillow out of rabbit, and that did not happen.
He says you're close, Grant, but there's something else added. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow. The suspense. Hooked up back last vacation starts Wednesday. We'll be down at the coast until the 6th of December. Nice.
Until my birthday. Well, my birthday's on the 7th, but regardless, where are you going to?
Audrey's is the 6th.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is. I assume she wants to come down to Port Aransas for her birthday.
Well, we're not. No. but maybe in a future
in the future. In the future.
Yeah. But Hooked Up and Backlash, Roberts, he's here in San Antonio, but he's got a camper down there on a lot. And so he spends a lot of time down there at the coast. And I think he's in the, you correct me if I'm wrong, Robert, are you up in the Rockport area or are you down, I'm not sure. I think Rockport. He'll let us know. Fish skull mount.
Yeah, Mark's doing his own tanning, so I'm super curious about that, especially having boned the show on so many hides myself. Danny wants to get into fish skull mounts. I've got 3 or 4 in my deep freeze. I haven't learned how to do that. I can't wait. I want my back wall to look like Grant's with fish skull mounts. I'm gonna do that one day. I just haven't pulled it off yet.
That would be.
I'm the same way. I want to do that.
All right, so he's got a place down at Ranzas Pass. That's where his camper's at. And so his birthday is on the 5th. So his birthday is the 5th. Audrey's is the 6th.
Mine's the 7th.
7th. Holy smokes.
That's a lot of Sagittarius.
Yeah, a little too much in one area, I think.
Right.
A sheephead, it looks cool. That would be cool.
So what do you
you should see the amberjack I got on that.
I'd like to see.
I got an amberjack that's so big I can't even fit it in my little portion of screen here.
Oh, see, I'd like to see a gator gar head mount.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
That'd be cool.
To my knowledge, Grant, the way you do those is, if I ever do this, I will do a video on it because I don't know, but I think you just boil them. You boil the head, and you boil it till all the meat gets off, and then you dump all that out. You dump out the bones, and there's going to be like a bunch of bones, apparently. I didn't know this, but apparently there's a bunch of bones. And you take a toothbrush and scrape off any leftover meat. But then you have to glue each individual little bone back in its place. And there'll be like a skull and stupid bones. Like some of them, like deep water fish, have like an eye. They have a bone for their eyeball because of the pressure. And they'll have a jaw. And then they'll have like another bone thing. I don't even know. I don't know how they're constructed. But like apparently it's a pain gluing it together.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of that. That's pretty crazy.
Danny's saying,
it's kind of like what do they call that? A European mount for deer?
Yeah. I got a story that I don't even want to tell you guys about that. So that one video I have, deer hunting video I have with that 8-point, I had the head in my freezer. And I was going to do a skull mount with it, a European mount. The freezer died. By the time I got to it, it was a rotted, stinky mess. And now hindsight 2020, it was partway there, I guess, but it ended up in the trash. And so
that's not how you do it.
All I got left from that, that's all I got left from that is the pictures and the video.
That sucks.
It would have been right here, Grant. I would have had one. Wait, I do have a little, I took the skull off the very first deer I ever shot was a little 3-point. I got it on a little plaque thing. It's around here somewhere, but all the fur, this is back in like 82. So all the little fur's falling off the skull and everything.
I was going to say you could have it like sitting on your shoulder.
Yeah. So I could just put that on my head. I have a little point sticking up. Yeah, I felt bad about that one.
Oh, see, okay, so there's another thing. Danny says it smells bad when you boil them.
Do it outside.
So another thing, yeah, doing it outside, absolutely. Another thing that my Uncle Perry did, and now I feel like I have to do this on video at some point. I have to try it, is making fish sauce, which is where you like take all your leftover fish carcasses and stuff, and you might as well do your skull mounts at the same time. What's the damn difference, But you take it and you boil it down, and then take your skull stuff out, but then you leave the pot of boiled fish stuff and you let it rot for 2 weeks. And then you add a bunch of sugar and like scrape the crap off the top, and then you let it rot longer or something. I don't know. Like fish sauce, if you look that up, it's terrible. It's disgusting. And I've tried fish sauce. It doesn't even taste that good. It tastes exactly like how you would expect it to taste after hearing how to make it. but apparently it's a thing.
We buy fish
And-
sauce. We got some in the fridge, but it's like in a jar, and I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah, that's how they make it. It's
Sounds cool.
sugar and like rotted fish stuff that they boil.
Nasty. Now,
Yeah.
Danny, with the skull, like with the deer, you also bleach it after you get everything cleaned off. Did you bleach the sheep's head skull after you boiled it and everything? Get it nice and white?
I don't think you have to bleach them after you boil it. You might have to. I never did that with shark jaws. Like these guys, check it out.
Well, you're the first one I've seen who said don't boil it because all the teeth will fall out. I didn't know that.
That'll knock the teeth out on a shark jaw. I don't know about like something else. But see, this was just salt. I just packed it in salt and let it sit in the sun for 2 weeks.
So you just cut stuff off it the best you could, pack
Yep.
it with salt, and set it in the sun.
That's it. That's all I did with that guy. And that came out, you can see, that came out pretty bright white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
peroxide.
There
I've
you
never
go.
tried that one. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
I might have to try that and redo my Jaws video because I wouldn't mind brightening them up a little bit.
Yeah, I would clean them up for sure.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got to talk about? You had some kind of crazy news to talk about, Stanley, about.
Yeah, you know what? I don't have that in front of me, but I figured you guys would appreciate it. So a guy up in Pennsylvania just caught a state record walleye, and I don't recall his name, but that thing was like 34 inches. Like, what's the biggest walleye you ever? I thought I was pretty awesome. I think, what did I get, like an 18 or something like that? A 19 last summer
Yeah,
is where I topped off.
that's around my biggest I've ever caught up there. So a 34 is a beast.
That thing was huge. I thought it was. I don't even know what I thought it was. I thought it was. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. It was big. I thought it was like a carp. Because obviously it was really fat too.
We need Steve for that question. See what his
Yeah.
biggest
Mhm.
walleye was.
Yeah. Hooked up
Miss
back.
you, Steve.
I think he's saying put in any ant pile. Because I've heard you can throw them in an ant pile and they'll eat everything off of them too.
I've tried that one too, and I agree. That does work. It takes longer. Then you got to worry about cats and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, 34-inch walleye is a beast. And it's funny, I don't know. So here in Texas, we've got, for freshwater particularly, we have like a lake record. I've got two, well, they've both been beaten now, but I had 2 lake records, right? Where you get a thing from the Texas Parks and Wildlife when you send in the information, a certificate, lake record, blah, blah, blah. And then we have state records. So you could have like a lake record of something, but it's not a state record. The state record is the overall, and of course it's going to be the lake record wherever it was caught also if it's a state record. And then they have hook and line records, and they have other means, which is jug line, trout line, whatever else, however else you get them. So then there's youth also. So there's all different levels. And if you got a kid and you're in Texas and they catch a fish, look up there's all kinds of awards. A kid don't give a shit. They get a fancy looking certificate with their name on it saying they caught whatever, first fish award, big fish award, whatever. So it's a pretty cool program. I mean,
not to mention
managing it.
It's your progeny. This is your opportunity to get your name on the record books.
Yeah.
By showing the world that your kid did this. So your kid beat their kid.
Yeah, my kid catch bigger fish than your kid.
I don't see your kid's name in the record books.
26 inches. That's a big one. 26 inches big.
I want to say that's where Rachel's brother, that's about his biggest was in about the 26-inch range.
I forgot what they call it up north. I know Michigan area, they had a certain term. It's a certified fish or something like that.
Like
what was that term?
It's like how we have our elite angler. They have a different name for it.
Yeah, but they like turn it in and then like at the end of the season or something. There's a lead angler. You turn it in and they give you a certain plaque or trophy for being a certain size. Oh, did you ever get your elite angler yet there, Stanley?
Yeah, I did not. And so I'm not gonna be bitter. I'm not gonna like
Just 'cause you
I spent that entire year, all last season was dedicated to getting the elite angler. I got it. I submitted my thing. They still haven't emailed me back. They haven't sent me anything. I've got to basically resubmit on this whole thing,
what?
which means I got to go digging back through my Google Drive and getting all the photos to resubmit, and the measurements and everything.
Yeah.
In the meantime, an associate of mine, another YouTube channel, just upped and got theirs out of the blue and did a whole video on it. And now I'm like, well, I don't care anymore. Screw this.
You wanted to do the video on it. How did
Yeah, I was bummed about that. And kudos to them. And they're good people. And I love them to death. And they're great YouTubers. So we go fishing. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bitter about that.
Danny says 2 of his got disqualified. How's that? The pictures weren't right.
Really?
I'm
kind of curious about that.
I've got 3 of 5 so far. I need 2 more, and I really just haven't been fishing down there that much in places for the type of fish that I need.
What do you have?
I've got ladyfish, gaff top, and red drum. So I want to go get a black drum. I've already caught a big enough black drum, but at the time I didn't know about the whole thing. So I want to go down and get a good sized black drum, and then whatever else. I'd like to get a trout, qualifying trout, but I've just never caught a trout big enough.
You get those in the surf out there. I'm gonna keep a mental record of that. If I have an opportunity to get you out there, I would personally enjoy getting you on at least one of those.
Oh, that sucks, Danny.
Yeah, that sucks. That really hurts. On the plus side, like, I don't know. I want to say that the elite English stuff is actually kind of easy to get, like that skipjack. The skipjack, John. I don't know where you probably got yours in the surf, and there's some big ones. There's some big ones in the surf. I got mine on those inshore oil rigs, but you can get them in the surf too.
Yeah.
The black drum and the red drum, you're going to get around the jetties, around the end of the jetties.
Yeah.
What else have you got? A sheep's head, you can get around the Danny. You get the sheep's head around the jetty or around the oil rigs inshore in like February, March. Jack Crevalle. You can get the Jack Crevalle around the jetty. So the Jack Crevalle, the red and black drum, you could get in the same day at the end of the jetties on a good day.
On a good day. Flounder would be a good one, but all the sheep's head I've caught have just been barely legal, so they've never been big enough for that. Oh, Spanish, yeah. Nice Spanish and a speck. All right. So for those that don't know, you gotta get Texas Parks and Wildlife. They have a freshwater version and a saltwater version, and they list the fish, and they say it has to be at least this big to qualify for a big fish award. Well, if you get 5 qualified big fish awards, then you can submit for a lead angler award. So you can be a freshwater lead angler or you can be a saltwater lead angler. And I'll be honest, and it might sound silly, but the saltwater is easier to get than the freshwater because they're sighted. Yeah. Like my 2 lake records that I had, neither of those lake records were big enough for big fish awards for the elite angler award. I'm like, okay. It's a lake record. It should be qualified just based on that. Shit.
They do have a special an exception for that. And I don't know what the rules are, but like if you get a really big stingray is not part of their award. But if you get a really big stingray, you can submit it and they'll consider it on its own merit.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, it's almost. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was curious if they had anything like that up where you're at. Because I want to say, didn't Steve have that in Michigan?
We were talking about it a minute ago. I can't remember what the term is they use. They use a certificate fish or a certified or some kind of term.
Yeah.
Even Darren up in
I was going to say that too.
Canada had some kind of but I forgot the term they use for them. And we ain't got no No Yankees
like
in
master angler. There's some.
master angler. Is that
I think that's like Colorado. I know there's a couple
think
people
that's
that
the term.
post them pictures. Master angler award if it's over 16 inches, certain species, or 20 inches, certain species.
I think that's what they use up in Michigan was master angler. I think that's what it was.
No, we don't have anything like that.
What the hell,
Really?
boys?
No.
Yeah, I'd have thought
as far
that
as
right
I know,
up your
we've just
alley.
got state record, for each species.
You don't even have like body of water records?
Yeah, I'd say they do.
I would think that's something that's like managed by anybody who's on that lake is going to want to perpetrate a record for that lake because that only helps their business.
Yeah. Danny said he could have done a cobia and a king this year. Man, do it. Going into big
I think he caught him. Maybe didn't get the pictures
or just did submit them.
Yeah. One of the problems that I had doing it last year was I didn't know I didn't really pay attention to what I was doing. So like on the sheep's head, for example, Rachel and I both got our sheep's head like back to back oil rigs in March. I mean, they're just there. It's 19s all day long. And Rachel and I, we ended up bagging out on 19s all day long. Got a 3-man limit. And I never once put a ruler to one. I never once put the tape measure. I never thought about it. We never measure fish. We eat them. We don't sit there and, talk about the length on them. So I had to get into the habit of like putting a tape to every fish. I wasn't used to that.
Yep. Said he didn't care. He was just happy to catch them, I guess. Which is my attitude.
I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He said trout for a minute there. I thought he was talking about what I was going to talk about in a minute is the trout stocking that they're going to be doing, but that's freshwater, like rainbow trout, not trout.
Speaking of which, I would very much enjoy having this conversation.
So
I'm looking forward to this.
Every year, Texas Parks and Wildlife starts at a certain time of the year when it's cool enough so the hot water doesn't kill the trout. They start stocking trout in local areas around us here in San Antonio. Hey, Weekend Warrior, glad to see you here. And so we've got certain ponds in this, and this isn't just San Antonio area, but of course that's what I'm familiar with. And we have the Guadalupe River, and they stock trout. And the idea is you go and catch them and take them home and eat them, because most of these trout are not going to survive, right? Once the warm weather comes, they're going to die off. There is some deep cold water on the Guadalupe River, so there are some resident trout in the Guadalupe River. But anywhere else, the ponds and all that, they're going to be gone. So their whole thing is, we're dumping a bunch of trout in here, come and catch them all. You know what I mean? And I think your limit's 5. I think some areas, no matter the size, you just take it. They don't care if it's 8 inches long, you're taking that trout home. So it's starting November 24th. So you can go on Texas Parks and Wildlife's website, and I sign up for the newsletter, so I get an email every week or two, and that's one of the stories in the latest one. And they'll have a schedule online that you can look at, and it'll tell you where they're stocking these trout. There's places where they've made deals with landowners, especially along the Guadalupe, where you can go in there for free and fish, right? Because the idea, again, is to get people out and fish and enjoy a fish that you normally don't catch in this area of the country, So starting on the 24th, they're going to start stocking. Guadalupe River, of course, is going to be where I'm going to fish. I grew up trout fishing when I lived in New Mexico. When I was a child, my childhood was New Mexico. Northern New Mexico, we would trout fish all the time. But this is a little bit different. I'm not used to a big river. I'm used to either a lake or creeks. So I haven't had success yet, but I got a buddy who does pretty well. So I'm going to try to hook up with him this winter and get out there and catch some, and get a video catching some nice trout. I did one trout video, Stanley, but it was I didn't catch shit video. It's the only one of those I've ever done, and I'm not doing any more.
So when we were in Wisconsin, one of the coolest trips that we did was we went trout fishing. The first time I'd ever done it. It was absolutely majestic. It was the most serene fishing trip I have ever been. Not serene, most serene, like, location, most beautiful location I've ever been to in my life. It was just the most in nature, walking down a creek with a little tiny outfit, flicking like a little worm in front of them. And we were out there. It was me and it was me and Rachel's brother, her dad, and all of our kids. And like, it was so breathtaking and majestic, and those kids were not having it. They were screaming, and they were like, it was hot, and they wanted Gatorade and sandwiches, and it was just like I had fun, I enjoyed it, but everybody was so frustrated. You had to be so quiet about those trout, and the kids were stomping around, and it was, I don't know. I filmed it, and I was like, I'm not putting this. Like, we even caught a trout. I caught I didn't catch a trout. My brother-in-law did. I caught a sucker, like a pretty good sized sucker, what would have been an eater, I guess, in winter. Ended up letting it go. But that was the first time I'd ever even seen a trout get caught. And the video was such a cluster nightmare with kids screaming and stuff that I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this to my family. I can't make that video. But I did have fun though. I did enjoy it.
20,000 rainbow in the Guadalupe. Yeah, they're going to start releasing in the Guadalupe on 3 December. It looks, this is the tail race. 3 December through February 27th. So it's not like just a one little shot. There's a lot of dates. There's like just looking at maybe 7, 8 different dates that they're going to actually release trout. And there's places, like I said, all over the state. So you just got to go on their website and see if any of those are near you. You know what I mean? That's pretty neat. And then Weekend Warriors, they can do it up there too. So that's cool.
Usually I think Rachel was saying they do that in Canyon Lake too. Is that correct?
They don't do it in the lake. They do it in the river south of the lake. So where the river comes out of the lake, the other side of the dam. Let's see. Where else?
I wonder what the rate is versus catching versus how many don't survive.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know.
I'd be curious about that myself because it gets hot. There's no way they're going to survive.
Yeah. Once it warms up.
Well, I'd say for Justin up there, I'd say they probably get too cold in the winter for them up there. Maybe why they don't. I would think that would be why they wouldn't survive up there. Maybe it's because it gets too hot in the summer up there.
And he's in Wisconsin, right?
Justin is in Minnesota, right?
Right next to it. Okay. I knew you were in like that general vicinity. I thought you were in Wisconsin. I thought we talked about going fishing when I was up there.
He's close to North Dakota.
Okay.
So yeah,
regardless, I know they got them in South Wisconsin.
There's tons of places. Garland, El Paso, they do it. Houston, they do it. Spring, Texas. Allen, Texas. Austin. Hale, Texas City. Deer Park. Benbrook. New Braunfels, of course. Abilene. Rockwell, and I'm not naming all of them. Flower Mound. So it's probably.
Please tell me they do it in Lake Corpus Christi.
No, not most places. They don't do it really in lakes. It's either ponds or rivers.
Or Nueces River.
No, you can get some nice white bass in there.
That is a hot. What do they call that when it's mixed fresh salt water? It's hot brackish river.
Brackish. Vanderpool, Katy, Sherman. I'm trying to see if I see anything down south. I'm sure there's some. What? Corpus Christi. They
do?
At West Guth Park Pond, which Guth.
Yeah, West Guth. That's right over there by, Labonte? West Guth is over by Calallen High School. That's like a 5-minute drive.
14 December. They're releasing them there.
Why would they even do that? There's no way that river's going to hold them.
Well, there's a pond apparently. It says West Goose Park Pond, so there must be a pond over there.
Oh, that's a mud hole.
Well, they're only doing one release, so it's probably that like release them, you better catch them now type thing.
All right, I'll get in on that. I'll get in on some West Goose mud hole trout.
You should. You should.
I don't know how to catch them, but casting that'll work, I'm sure.
Power bait. Power bait on a little treble hook with enough weight to get to sink. Or you can
Okay, so I'm sold on that. Power bait on a little treble hook with enough weight to get it to sink.
Sink. Yep.
Okay.
Or you can use a float too. Either way.
Well, you're pretty good with the cast net, Stanley.
I mean,
No,
I'm not really. I'm just looking for
NBA.
something good to eat.
I guess lake. They do some lakes, Lake Melton, Lake Fryer, Live Oak City, which is right here in San Antonio. That's probably a 10-minute drive from my house.
What's up, Rob?
Yeah, West Goose is not a. I didn't know they did that. 14th. I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna go. Man, that would actually make a pretty fun kind of video.
Here, let me do this. I'm going to copy the link and put it in the chat.
Rooster tails. What's a rooster tail? I'm not familiar with that.
Like a inline spinner. Got
Yep,
a little
exactly.
little blade at the top with a treble hook at the bottom with some
Fuzzy
hair
fur.
or something.
Yeah.
Frills. Okay.
Comes fur and that spinner just comes around it. So I posted a link to that's the list of all the places where they're and dates when they're releasing them in Texas.
Thank you for that.
Canned corn, yep. Back in the day when I was a kid, it was salmon eggs. You buy those red Fireball salmon eggs.
I'm learning here, so I'll take everything I can get, guys. Keep it coming with the rooster tails and canned corn. You just take a kernel of corn, put it on a treble hook, and fling it out there.
Well, I use a regular hook then, but if you're using a treble hook, put a couple on. But these are small treble hooks because these trout aren't huge and they got small mouths.
How big are the trout that they're going to be releasing?
I don't know if it talks about size. I figure they're usually around 8 or 9 inches. What do you say, Danny, about that? Yeah,
Might be about that big. And you're allowed 5, like in most of these situations.
Well, yeah, some places have set limits, like there's special limits on the Guadalupe in certain areas. Valid fishing license.
I assume that there's probably there are going to be out there, and there's going to be somebody dumping out 5-gallon buckets of these guys into that pond. I'm just going to go make friends with that guy and sit there with a bait right at his feet.
It's a trailer. They got them in a trailer. It just backs up and it opens up and they just pour out.
So yeah, just hook me up with my 5 and I'll be on my way.
Yeah. Let's skip the middleman here. My father-in-law told me a story about how they used to do trout. Not they, but how people used to do trout fishing up in Wisconsin. I suppose it's probably still a practice where they would just dump bleach in the creek and then go a quarter mile downstream and collect the bodies.
Oh shit, that's fucked up.
Like he didn't do that, but that was something that
Wow.
Of course, people get in trouble for.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I guess the bleach would take the oxygen out of the water and
Yep, that's exactly what it does.
Yep.
So the trout
Clean them up with the fillet. Yeah, everything.
Danny said he caught a 15-inch. That's a nice trout. That's a nice rainbow.
I think that one we got was probably like a 12. It was legal, whatever it was. We kept it, but I was put in charge of filleting it. That was a mistake. It had J-bones. I don't even know what that is.
When we ate trout, we never filleted them. We gut them, cut the head off.
That's where I messed up.
Cook
I
them,
didn't know.
Eat them off the bone. Yeah. That's one thing. If you got somebody who's really like, I don't want to get a bone in my mouth, trout might not be a great choice for them. But if you cook it right, you usually take your fork down the backbone and just peel the meat off of it. And the skin, there's no scales on a trout, of course. So the skin just fries up and the tail and fins become potato chips, especially the tail. It's all good.
I boned the show on that. I filleted that stupid thing. I butchered it. That one that Sean caught.
And it was 12 inches long.
Yeah. There was a spoonful of meat left after I was done with it. Trying to cut out those J bones, I was trying to do it like a pike or something.
Yeah, pike are tough to clean too because of the bones. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what their deal is, Sean. We caught a pike. I caught that pike 2 years ago, and we take it home, and he fillets it, and it was just precise. He knew what he was doing. He cut down through that thing, good to go. And I was watching him. I was like, man, that's where I learned about the J bones or whatever there's Y bones and there's J bones, two different ones, whatever the deal is. That's where I learned is watching him. And I'm like, man, I don't know the first thing about this. I ever get into a pickerel, I don't know what I'm doing. So I was watching him last year. With my nephew caught a pike, and I took advantage, and I was doing the Instagram pictures for him. But we go to fillet that thing, and Sean's like, "Oh, I've been watching." Rachel's brother was like, "I've been watching this video from this guy who shows you like a better way to fillet these things," and he butchered that poor pike, and he was just cussing that guy out the entire time, like the YouTuber that had like taught him the new way. It was all wrong. It was all dumb. He wasted so much meat on that poor thing. I trust he went back to his old method for it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, NBA's in the house. I missed you sneaking in. NBA, good to see you. Glad you're here. Appreciate it. Yeah, so we're gonna have to go get some trouts. Gut them and cram them with lemons and parsley. Yeah, there you go.
You're making me hungry here. I'm all about this, especially if you don't you're not filleting them like you said. If you're just like you said, gut them. Yep. That sounds so good to me.
Yep. Good and simple. That's what I was telling you earlier. We'd be camping in the mountains and fishing streams, and you catch a little brook trout, bring it back, clean it, cook it up right there with some eggs and fried eggs and trout right there in the morning, fresh out of the water.
Yeah.
We were living large, and I didn't even know it. You ever caught a trout there? You got trout up there, Grant?
I have not.
Damn,
I've tried.
Oh, they have them up there?
Well, I went, April 1st, I went over to Missouri and trout fished with Nick.
That's right.
And I've tried, there's a $5 trout stamp for our fishing license. It actually used to be an actual stamp, but now it's just electronic. Of course, it costs more to electronic stamp than an actual printed stamp.
That's stupid.
And Nick wasn't able to get you in on those?
No, we tried. Well, for Illinois, you have to have a trout stamp, and I bought one for I don't know how many years and fished a few places. There's not I'd say an hour away is the closest big spot of water that you can catch them, but I've seen them caught. I've been with people that's caught them, but I'm just not meant to catch trout, I guess.
Just got to keep going back. Fuck it. Go back and try again. I want to finally get into a white bass run too. Yeah, that's me and Joel will be doing that. So used to fish the Oasis during the white bass run where you're trolling, and that was fun. But now, the internet, everybody knows when and where, and that little river gets so crowded with boats that I gave up on it. So not last year, I don't think, but the year before, me and Joel went to Choke Canyon and fished the main lake for white bass, went jigging, and we got into a mess of them, and that's just a lot of freaking fun. So me and him are gonna do that again this year for sure. And if you don't mind a crowd of boats on the river, and you got a small boat, like any kind of small boat, 18 foot and down, you put in a 59 bridge and go south a little ways and towards the Lake Mathis or Lake Corpus Christi, and just start trolling the river with rattle traps, blue and silver or whatever. You'll catch a bunch of white bass. It's a lot of fun.
I've been wanting to get into that myself. I caught one once. I was like 10 years old. I didn't even know what I'd caught.
Okay, Mark.
Was that trout he's saying?
I think so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Mark was saying that he just gills them and guts them and then cooks them on the grill.
Yeah, that'd be good too. You ain't got to get too fancy with a good trout, with a fresh trout.
You should have seen me fillet that one. That would have been a video in and of itself.
You know, I didn't start filleting fish until, probably in the last 20 years. When I was a kid, we were, in New Mexico catching trout, and we never filleted any of them, just head off, gills, gut, and cook them up. And then in Michigan, especially yellow perch, we go out and catch buckets full of yellow perch, head off, gills, gut, fry them up. Nobody filleted nothing back then. And then I guess, I don't know.
Would you even scale them?
Yeah.
Perch?
You had to scale them. Yeah. And of course, I'm the only kid in the group. So guess who gets stuck with doing all the scaling and cleaning of the fish? Me. I became an expert at doing that shit.
That's how you got to do it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We never scaled anything. Anything that we would do was just on the half shell, and we did a lot on the half shell.
See,
But stuff like I don't know, like mahi. I guess you can't do that. I don't know why.
No, they got more of a skin.
But, yeah, and it's even hard to get that skin off. But
yeah, on the half shell, I like red drum, of course, but sheep's head too. Sheep's head's real good on the half shell. So anytime, like when we didn't get to go Veterans Day weekend, that's when me and my guys go down and do our veterans trip to the coast, and we didn't get to do it. But usually, anytime we do one of those trips, we're going to catch a redfish, maybe sheep's head. We're going to cook it right there on the grill at the campsite. Love that. Everything tastes better when you're out there cooking it. You know what I mean? Than when you're back at home. Never caught what? A trout, Robert, hooked up in Backlash?
I think so.
Or white bass. He's talked about both.
Yeah, he said he'd never finally wanted to get into white bass, run to goldfish. He had said was his was trout, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Back we were talking about trout. I am kind of curious. West Gooth, that was like that park you're talking about was my childhood park. That's where as a kid we would go, at least once a month as a kid, go and hang out over there. And to think that, that pond that they're talking about, small and not very deep. I can't imagine it reaches 4 feet deep.
Well, go tear some up. Shit.
Yeah, if they're going to go dump a bunch of fish in front of me, I'll eat them.
Yeah. That'd be a fun day. That'd be a good video.
Yeah.
Sitting on there catching them. Because in the video, you can explain a little bit about the program that Texas. I think that's a good video when you do a little education about it and then show them. We came out here and did it.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Nacogdoches, Duncanville, Sulphur Springs. It's all over Texas. There's a speck of water. They're going to throw some trout in it this winter for you.
Scale sunfish. That's interesting. We always fillet those things down in Fryman, Wisconsin, and we fillet them like it's like we're like a well-oiled machine filleting those things. Anything like that, the perch or anything that's just the simple regular like whiting style kind of fillet job. I can literally fillet 100 fish and without cramping up or whatever.
All right, you've just volunteered anytime we fish together to fillet the fish.
Yes, I did. And I stand by that. I am happy to fillet fish.
Yeah, I get to about 25 and I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, you should see me on shrimp. Like my hands get all mangled like this or whatever. But dude, I can tear through 100 shrimp. I can easily do 2 pounds of shrimp.
I'm thankful that Audrey, she might not love it, but she doesn't mind peeling shrimp.
I love shrimp.
I love to eat them, but the peeling of shrimp is one of the worst things. So if we're going to peel it before we cook it, she takes that job, which I'm appreciative of because I hate doing that. A pain in the ass.
See, I volunteer on that one too because my hands, these mitts, they're built for filleting fish and peeling shrimp. That's what they were. They were generations of orchards. That we were bred for this.
There you go. Hey, hooked up in Backlash. You got a boat, man. Take that sucker to Canyon Lake in January sometime. Look for the humps down towards the dam end. Look at those humps. If you're there late, you'll see boats already sitting on them. And then check the different coves near the mouths of the coves, and you'll usually find a school or two of white bass. And then you just use those slabs, just straight up and down, basically jigging for them. And if you get on them, you'll tear them up. Take kids, you can get double. There you go.
I thought that's how. Dude, my dad had 3 kids. That's why he had 3 kids, is because it increased his limits.
Yep. Mr. Rick's in the house. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Rick. Good to see you.
Hey, how are you doing, man?
What's up,
I
Rick?
haven't seen you in a minute. How are you doing?
Yeah, it has been a minute. He's coming in at the end of the show, but we're not done yet.
Yeah. Rick got a very nice.
Post this. Go ahead.
I'll say Mr. Rick got him a very nice buck this year, archery season.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead and just rub that in a little bit. It's been one of those.
Right. Very nice.
One of those years where everybody else is getting them good bucks. I'm gonna go get myself one tonight.
There you go.
About 55 miles an hour down them back roads, you'll get one. So we got about 4 minutes left. Yeah, First of all, gentlemen, did you realize we're only like 3 or 4 shows away from finishing season 2?
Yeah.
We're gonna be 3.
How many? Well, we got like 5 weeks left in the year in 2021.
Right, and then we got to decide holidays around Christmas. Are we going to be doing? We'll figure that out. We'll let everybody know.
And the pandemic ends December 31st.
Hopefully.
Right. That's cutoff time.
Hopefully, it doesn't have a season 3.
Right. Exactly. I'm telling you, here's what I'm going to say. I am going to fish more in 2022. I've had a full month time frame where I have not fished, and I haven't had that in years. So I thought coming in 2021, yeah, I'm going to get out there. Nope. So 2022, I gotta put the hammer down and get out there and fish more. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that's the case. That's the plan. We'll see how well I stick to that plan. Duck season is on its way. Yeah, that's what Grant was talking about. He's ready for some ducks.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to take my trolling motor off my boat and put my duck blind on this week.
So you got
Mr. Rick is saying he's been busy getting the kids in the woods and trying to get time into duck hunting and all that. Totally respect that. Totally understand.
Yep.
That's a good reason for being absent.
Yep. Grant or Stanley, what you got coming up? Anything new and exciting coming up in the next few weeks?
Yeah, I've got 2 Patreon videos, one of which was supposed to go out this week or last week, and I neglected on that just because I really trying to enjoy as much time off as physically possible. So that was the reason for that. And plus I had some weird hangups on it. Basically, long story short, I'll be putting out one of those Patreon videos this week. I am still on hiatus, going to be taking a little bit of a vacation here. We're going to be in Canyon Lake this week. I will be filming there. We will be having a video out for that for Thanksgiving. You expect to see that in December sometime. It's not going to be a Thanksgiving video. It's going to be a winter family fishing video we'll have.
That'll be cool.
So I'll be working on that.
Very cool. Very cool. I've got video coming out tomorrow. The added some
finally
lighting and live well lighting to the boat. So that video posts about 8 a.m. Central Time tomorrow morning. I'll get it out there for everybody. What? Anything else, gentlemen?
I'll get that shared out for you.
Cool.
Yeah, I've gotten some recording in over the past 3 or 4 deer hunts, but
yeah,
we'll have to wait. Maybe we'll get a compilation of all of it once deer season's over. What's up, One Cast, One Fish?
Coming in real late, closing time.
What's up, man? He got his time in.
Hey, get to the bar and get that drink quick because we're cutting you off. It's closing time.
Hey, that's a heck of a catch, Mr. Rick. I got to say, my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law, they just I just got the text message before the show. They got back-to-back 15 and 16s.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I don't know what they dressed down to, but yeah.
200
It was
pounds.
a father-son.
Big deer.
Yeah, father-son.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it kind of is, except that I didn't get anything, so screw them.
He's not bitter. All right, folks.
A little bitter.
You guys got any last minute? Where are we at next week? Grant, right?
Yes.
Far over there. Everybody's links down below for the three folks up here. And yeah, we'll be at Grant's house next week. We'll be talking about how awesome Thanksgiving was. I'll tell you whether my Traeger turkey was a hit or I ruined Thanksgiving for the family. And until then, gentlemen, are we done?
That's
Have
it.
a great week.
All right, folks.
Have a
Happy
happy Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Have a great Thanksgiving. We will see you on Grant's site the Monday after the Thanksgiving weekend, right, Grant?
We'll be decompressing from Thanksgiving next Monday, Grant's channel.
We'll be eating cold turkey sandwiches. I love them.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Peace out.
Good night.
Night, guys.